In the world of fitness and bodybuilding, where discipline and camaraderie are often championed, an unsettling incident unfolded recently that left fans and the broader fitness community in shock. Jeff Nippard, a bodybuilding star renowned for his scientific approach to fitness, was assaulted in broad daylight by another well-known figure in the industry. What started as a seemingly normal day at Pure Muscle and Fitness Gym in Ontario, Canada, quickly escalated into a violent altercation that was all captured on video. The raw footage, which has since circulated across social media platforms, paints a disturbing picture of the assault, showing Nippard being pushed aggressively to the ground by fellow fitness personality Mike Van Wyck. Nippard, who has built a considerable following for his meticulous and research-driven approach to bodybuilding, was not only physically attacked but left to grapple with the psychological and emotional aftermath of the incident. For someone like Nippard, whose reputation is built on professionalism and educating the public about the science behind bodybuilding, being subjected to such a brazen act of aggression was as shocking as it was unanticipated. It wasn't just about the physical impact of the incident, but also the violation of the trust and respect that he and his millions of followers placed in the fitness industry. After the video surfaced, showing the full scope of the altercation, Nippard felt compelled to break his silence. Posting on his social media platforms, he addressed his fans and the public about what had transpired that fateful day. The attack, as seen in the video, was not an isolated push or shove. According to Nippard's account, Van Wyck, a prominent name in the fitness world with a reputation for intense and sometimes abrasive behavior, approached Nippard and his crew in the middle of their workout session and jabbed him in the throat not once but twice. Nippard's recount of the event was chilling in its detail. He described how Van Wyck's initial aggression was unprovoked, and yet it escalated in mere moments, leaving both Nippard and his cameraman vulnerable. "Mike Van Wyck jabbed me in the throat twice in the middle of the gym and then shoved my cameraman," Nippard stated on his social media post, which quickly garnered widespread attention. For a man like Nippard, who has always been respectful of his peers and the industry, this was a particularly bitter pill to swallow. As the dust settled, rumors began circulating within the fitness community. Some speculated that Van Wyck had asked Nippard to steer clear of him prior to the altercation and that Nippard's failure to comply had incited the violent outburst. This narrative, however, was quickly refuted by Nippard. "There is already a lie going around that Mike asked me to stay away from him and that I didn't listen and approached him first," Nippard clarified, visibly upset by the false claims being spread. "This is false," he emphasized, making it clear that at no point had Van Wyck asked for space or made any prior communication that might have suggested tension between the two. This context sheds light on the fact that the assault wasn't a case of miscommunication or a heated moment between two individuals who had personal issues. It was something far more unsettling, a seemingly unprovoked attack on someone who had done nothing to warrant such aggression. For Nippard, this was about more than just being knocked to the ground. It was about having his integrity called into question by the very community he had dedicated his career to educating and inspiring. In the days that followed the incident, Nippard opened up even further, explaining that Van Wyck's rage seemed to be fueled by the fact that Nippard had been filming content for his popular YouTube channel. Nippard's channel, which has amassed millions of followers, is known for its deep dives into the science behind fitness, muscle growth, nutrition, and overall health. It's a platform where Nippard shares not only his personal journey but also the scientific principles that guide effective training regimens, making it a respected source of information within the fitness community. On the day of the attack, Nippard explained, he had been in the midst of recording yet another video for his channel, doing what he does best, sharing knowledge and promoting healthy, evidence-based approaches to bodybuilding. However, Van Wyck's sudden outburst seemed to be a direct reaction to this filming. According to Nippard, Van Wyck confronted him out of nowhere, saying, "Turn the camera off," before swiftly jabbing him in the throat, sending Nippard sprawling to the floor. The sheer aggression of Van Wyck's actions is difficult to reconcile, especially in a space like a gym where respect, focus, and personal boundaries are often upheld as core values. Nippard recalled the shocking sequence of events vividly. "Then he walked back toward me, he said, 'Turn the camera off,' and immediately jabbed me in the throat and I fell onto the floor," Nippard shared with his social media followers. The violence didn't end there. As Nippard tried to regain his composure, Van Wyck continued to intimidate him, standing over him and issuing a chilling warning. He told me to never talk about him ever again. This second verbal confrontation was accompanied by a second physical assault. Once again, Van Wyck jabbed Nippard in the throat, compounding the physical pain with an undeniable sense of fear and bewilderment. For someone like Nippard, who has always maintained a level-headed and professional demeanor in all his interactions, this was not only physically jarring but mentally disorienting. The thought of being attacked in a public space for seemingly no reason was something Nippard had never anticipated. In the aftermath of the attack, Nippard revealed that Van Wyck had also targeted his cameraman, shoving him before finally storming off. This act of violence against an innocent bystander only further underscored the erratic nature of Van Wyck's behavior that day. It wasn't just a personal vendetta against Nippard, but an outburst that put anyone nearby at risk. As Nippard reflected on the incident, he couldn't help but wonder what had driven Van Wyck to such an extreme reaction. While Van Wyck had expressed irritation over being filmed, Nippard suspected that there was more to the story. He speculated that Van Wyck's anger may have been stoked by a recent video Nippard had posted, in which he responded to Van Wyck's criticism of science-based fitness influencers. Van Wyck, known for his more traditional hardcore approach to bodybuilding, had previously referred to fitness influencers like Nippard as mediocre, dismissing their reliance on scientific principles as inferior to more instinctual experience-based methods. In response, Nippard had posted a video defending the value of science-based training, making a case for why evidence-based methods were crucial in helping people achieve long-term success in their fitness journeys. The video was well received by Nippard's audience, but it clearly struck a nerve with Van Wyck. My opinion is that it was the result of anger brought on by the clip I posted yesterday responding to his question about science-based training, Nippard speculated in his social media post. This clash of ideologies, the old-school instinct-driven approach versus the new wave of science-backed fitness strategies, seemed to be at the heart of Van Wyck's violent reaction. Despite the attack, Nippard remained level-headed and composed in his public statements. While he was understandably shaken by the event, he took steps to ensure his own health and safety in the immediate aftermath. Following the incident, Nippard sought medical attention, undergoing a CT scan to assess any potential damage to his throat. Fortunately, the scan revealed no serious injuries, and Nippard was able to reassure his concerned fans that he was physically okay. Nippard's 2+ million Instagram followers flooded his page with messages of support, expressing their disbelief and outrage over what had happened. The fitness community, often united by shared goals and mutual respect, was quick to rally behind Nippard. Fellow bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts took to social media to voice their condemnation of Van Wyck's actions, standing in solidarity with Nippard and decrying the senseless violence that had occurred. One of the most vocal supporters of Nippard was fellow bodybuilder Quinton Area. Known for his positive attitude and commitment to fostering a supportive gym environment, Area publicly announced that he would no longer be training with Van Wyck. "I don't deal with bullies," Area stated bluntly, making it clear that he would not tolerate such behavior from anyone, regardless of their reputation or standing in the fitness world.